Co-op.
Hello, Couch Co-opers, Couch Potatoes, and Couch Codependents. This is the Couch Co-op Show, the greatest video game and beer podcast in the world. Probably the only one, too, really.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm Ian. I got full house. Jarrod, Nick, Dave, and Aaron. Everyone's on the show.
What?
How we doing tonight, gentlemen?
Oh, good.
Fantastic.
All right.
Good.
Please do me a favor and find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Couch Co-op Shows, all one word.
No
hyphen.
No hyphen.
Let's get to the show. And to start it off, Nick to win. What beer are we drinking tonight?
Summer comes to a close. I figured it'd be nice. Well,
This is pretty much cutting it close, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Last
Sam
week,
Adams,
last couple weeks, baby.
summer ale.
We had the first rain of the summer, didn't we, today? So this is...
Yeah.
Oh, did it
Sure
rain?
There's no
did.
rain.
Yeah, I got some rain in Oregon.
Up in
Oregon,
Beaverton. Yeah.
Out in Newburgh as well.
And
And some
smoke.
bad...
Big old thunder crash.
Yeah.
Lightning.
That's good. The
Oh.
fires, man. Fires need
Yeah.
that.
Bring it.
Oh yeah, it was bright orange yesterday out in,
Yeah.
Yeah, everywhere.
out in Oregon City. Yeah.
A nice summer ale.
All
Yeah.
right. So what do we know about this beer? I have the website open, but does anyone else know anything about it?
I'm an open
Citrus
mind.
sweet
Oh, let's
so,
open it.
wheat
Let's
ale.
open it.
Yeah, I'm opening
Oh.
right now.
I'm ready.
All right.
I'm on it.
Ooh,
Ah,
that's citrusy in a good way.
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah.
Samuel Adams
Mm.
2-row pale malt blend and malted wheat. Hop variations. These are noble, some kind of noble hop. I can't pronounce. Seasonal.
It's,
April to August. So you cannot get it right now, ladies and gentlemen. It's Oktoberfest
Yeah.
season.
Sad.
Sam Adams.
Better luck next year.
I didn't plan this very well. This was supposed to be kind of closer to 4th of July as we celebrate America's independence. I kind of had a whole thing
You know what?
with some of the beers that I
Yeah.
selected, but
Yeah, that's okay.
Timing is always
worked
weird.
out. I know. I mean, had I planned it better, this probably would have been like maybe a month or two ago. But
5.3%.
here we
Yeah.
are.
8 IBUs.
Tasty.
170 calories. What are you guys' initial impressions?
It's like a
Yum,
lemon
put in my
shandy.
tum.
Yeah, it's very lemony,
Yeah.
like citrusy in a
Yeah,
good
it's
way.
like a shandy. Yeah, some of those shandies are very good, and this is pretty much like it.
This
All
would be a good
Nice.
summer beer.
Like a better version
You know
of
what?
Lining Klugel's Summer Shandy.
I would kind of say they're right next to each other in a sense. But I mean, I feel like if we had this a little earlier, like you said, it would definitely beat the pants off of Lightning Kugels. But
Mhm.
I like Lightning Kugel. Well, just because it's like it's cutting it close to the Best Buy date, which
I mean, to be fair,
It was
I'm
like-
I can't even remember when we handed these out. But
Oh no,
Oh, it
no,
was a
no!
while
I'm not
ago,
knocking it. It's not bad or
Yeah.
anything. It's fantastic. Still, don't get me wrong. Because considering this almost as freshest date buy, then still just as good as like a fresh Lightning Kugel. That's saying something about this beer. I mean, I love a good summer beer, and this is like hitting all the notes. Honestly,
Well,
see,
what
I
you-
was never
for me.
really
go ahead.
I was never really a big fan of just. I mean, some summer beers were just kind of hit and miss. I mean, I was never like overly excited. Like even theirs, like I've probably had the summer ale like at various points in my life, and they've probably had different versions of their summer ale in the past. But I think I even had one earlier this year that I was just kind of ho hum about. But I had another one, and it just caught me just kind of on the right day, I guess. And I was kind of like, wow, this is actually really good. And I think I'm going to get some more of this. And sure enough, here we are.
honestly, I am for it anytime I ever have it. I've only had it a couple times, including this time. And you know what? I really should tell myself to buy at least one 6-pack every summer because I forget how good it is every year. So it's like, thank you for reminding me how good it is.
Well, while you guys are pounding it or enjoying it, I'm going to rifle off some news that happened this past week in video games.
Loads of it.
Loads of mediocre news, but yeah,
A lot of teasers and trailers.
a bunch of teasers and trailers. Ubisoft had their big thing, and they announced like 100 million Assassin's Creed games. We have Assassin's Creed Red,
What a surprise!
Assassin's Creed Jade, which is a mobile game. Then there's Netflix game for mobile, but it's different. There's also a Netflix series coming. Then there's the new Assassin's Creed Infinity, which is like a hub for all the games of some multiplayer thing. I mean, they announced so much Assassin's Creed stuff. It's
It sounds like Pokemon when you say Pokemon Red and Pokemon Jade.
Yes, I
well,
think
they're
the exact same thing.
they're all code names.
I think the same thing.
They're not the
Yeah,
real
yeah,
names.
They'll rename them like Valhalla or whatever the name of the game
And then
is
there's
when they do it.
two more major ones. There's Assassin's Creed Hexy, which is like another mainline open world one. And then the one that's coming out pretty soon is Assassin's Creed Mirage, which was supposed to be a DLC expansion for Valhalla, but then they separated it and turned it into its own game.
So are they going for like yearly release? This becoming like FIFA, where you get, or one of the soccer games where you get an Assassin's Creed game every year or every 6 months?
It used to be
It
that
used
way.
to be like that.
Yeah.
And now they feel like they're going
Yeah.
back to that a little bit. There's so many games they're announcing. It's just ridiculous. They also announced there was some cool stuff. Like, remember that time we had game night at my place and we played Trackmania Turbo? They have a new game of that coming out, but it's going to be free to play, which is kind of cool. So that
It's
could
been
be
on
good.
the PC for quite a long time. It's just coming to consoles now.
And then there's a new Division game coming out.
It's a free-to-play one.
Free to play one. There's a lot of free to play,
Yeah.
man.
I like how the
Never played
Division
any of the
feels.
Division.
It feels
Free
good.
to play,
to play.
I think you probably dig the Division, Dave.
Yeah, it's really good. I'd play it with you.
Let's see, what else? This is more of the, I don't know. Assassin's Creed was really the big... right now, if you have a PC, you can get a month free of Ubisoft Plus and play like all their games for like free. So there's that. Then Disney had their thing. Disney...
D-Day, whatever, or D23.
There's a new... Speaking of Pokemon, Dave, from the makers of Pokemon Go, they have like this Marvel... it's a Disney game. Right?
Yeah.
It's a Disney game that's like Pokemon, but not. You get to
I've heard
pick
about
fights
this. I
with
just
each
can't think what it's called.
You get your own superpowers and stuff
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
what it is.
So it's kind of like a hero-based game.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's weird. Interesting, maybe.
There's a new Amy Hennig, and her Marvel game was kind of teased with like Captain America and Black Panther.
Oh, yeah. 4 heroes, whatever it's called. I can't
Single
remember. I see
player
the
game
trailer.
still.
Single player game. You know, just a lot of that kind of garbage. Just like nothing really. I don't know, man.
So I'm probably the only one that doesn't know, but what is the 23 of the D23?
I have no idea.
Out next year, maybe?
No, D23. Yeah, it might be just the year. D22, D23.
That makes
Yeah, it
sense.
wouldn't
just the
surprise
year.
me if
It
it's
might
all the
just be-
stuff that comes,
Yeah.
Disney's
Yeah.
2023 kind of.
Maybe.
How many billion-dollar
There's-
franchises they
Or
own?
there's. We could Google.
Yeah.
Is there a meaning?
Here, look at what we do. I must admit, I find like the amount of stuff that's coming out on like particular properties just overwhelming.
Oh no!
Yep.
So D23 represents 1923, the year that Walt Disney arrived in
Okay.
California and founded
Ah.
makes
what was to
sense.
ultimately
There we
become the
go.
Walt Disney Company.
Got it.
There you go. We were all
Okay.
wrong.
There-
and now we
there we
know.
go.
Is it when the
All wrong.
copyrights run
We're
out?
all the wiser.
Yeah. Knowing is half the battle.
Cyberpunk. It's
The day I learned.
there was a bunch of Cyberpunk
DLC.
news. There's a DLC coming out, or it just came
No
out. There's
more-
a big patch. Then there's one big
Yeah.
expansion coming out next year, and then as Jarrod shared, they released the official modding tools.
I was going to say,
Yeah,
are
and-
you interested in modding that, Ian, on yours, or do you need a power upgrade on your PC to make it look beautiful?
I just need it to come down in price. The thing with official modding tools is that I don't really use a lot of the Bethesda Works stuff. I usually use unofficial stuff that the real modders create.
Works.
Bethesda Works, whatever it is whatever Bethesda's modding tool thing is for all those games. I forget what it's called.
Yeah, so you wait until basically someone
No,
hacks
there's a
their own
bunch
version
of
of it.
there's a bunch of unofficial mods on the Nexus right now so I mean, I'm just waiting for the game to hit like $20 on Steam.
Yeah, since you already bought it, why?
Yeah.
why
Seems like
buy
it'd be
it
a
for
good.
full price?
It seems like something you kind of enjoy because it's not a bad game and it's very good looking if they can kind of mod it.
But I do think the official modding thing brings a lot of other modders into it. So like then a lot more content is created. So I do think it's a positive. So it does make me excited to eventually, try it.
Yeah, it gets a lot more people making tools and things to make modding easier.
Also, I believe they are done supporting the PS4 and Xbox One. Any old consoles, all the new content is only on newer generation consoles.
Yeah, that expansion is not coming to PS4 or Xbox One.
So that's ended era.
Well, that sucks. Sounds like I got to kick myself for getting a PS5.
Well, do you have the game, Aaron?
No, but the same token, any future game I want to buy for the PS5, like God of War Ragnarok and other games like that coming for PS5, I think it's strict to the PS5. So.
I think Ragnarok's on PS4 as well, isn't it? Yeah,
it's cross.
Yeah, you're good on that.
Oh, I must have missed that one.
And you can buy a digital version that's PS4, PS5.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you don't want to buy like a disc version and just be stuck with your PS4.
I think.
Right.
I think Horizon Forbidden West was the last one they gave the upgrade for free, so there's probably a fee to upgrade to PS5 if you buy the disc.
Yeah, I think you're right. That was one of the last games where it didn't matter which disc you bought.
Right, I was just curious because it was like I remember them talking about the PS4 support being dead now, so I thought, oh fuck, that sucks. But
welcome to the future.
Just on that game at this point.
Right.
On Cyberpunk.
I thought it was for all.
I think with all the consoles still being hard to get, or at least the PlayStation anyway. They gotta kind of milk the PS4 a while.
I've actually thought of selling my PS4 Pro God of War edition, and because I'll probably get as much as a PS5 costs out of the stinking thing.
Oh, maybe.
And just buy another PS5.
Honestly, yeah. If you sell that about now or in the next month when it comes out, it's probably going to be worth as much as it's going to be worth for a long time.
Yeah.
Right. I'm hoping to get a PS5 eventually. I mean, after you move into our new place, so.
Yeah.
Well, I don't new place, new console.
I don't want to really talk about any more news because we're not that kind of show.
We don't need to go too long.
I want Jarrod to give us a quick hit on. We didn't get to talk about Stray, and we haven't done a fucking.
I guess we didn't talk about Stray because that came out in July.
Jarrod only ever seems to play cat games, and so this is like the most important cat game.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because I also beat Cat Quest 2.
But I want you to
like Jarrod is a cat.
Yeah. So just kind of break down Stray for our listeners. They probably already know, but what you thought of it.
Yeah. I thought it was a fun game. I liked how it felt and all that stuff. The cat's animations were really well done. They're not doing anything new as gameplay comes together. I mean, it's just a basic adventure in the end, but the graphics and the environments that they created are what really sells it. I mean, there's super basic puzzles. Very few dangers in the world, and the one danger you can just kind of run around and scurry away from their stuff. It's not that bad, and I don't know. It's the story through like a cat's eye. I mean, the cat can't really understand what's going on. You're just kind of controlling it. But there's dumb little moments in it that you're like a cat. You can knock shit off of shelves, and there's paper bags in like one of the areas, and you can get one on your head, and he like runs around. The controls are reversed and stuff. It's super goofy. So I mean, it has fun with the kind of dark world in it because all the inhabitants are robots. All the humans have been gone forever, So it's pretty in the future, I would assume.
Cats outlived us? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, cats outlived us. They're ruling the world.
No, I wonder if they watched
has something to do with it.
Now watch that Love, Death and Robots episode.
Yeah, but I don't know. There's certain part of the game where you feel pretty powerful because your little robot companion follows you around. You get a high-powered thing that helps you get through certain areas, like the sewer is the area that you use that, and makes it different. And then you get rid of that, and it's slightly more puzzle based, but again, the puzzles are super basic. It's a game that really anybody can play and enjoy. The first city could take some people a while because it doesn't give you really much guidance. There's no waypoints or anything like that, so you really have to explore, and it's kind of fun just to follow what some of the robots say. Only some of them actually give you some kind of small hints, but you just have to really remember where some of these characters are that they mention. Oh, maybe you should go see so and so.
And how's the music? I know music you love. Does that have good music?
Nothing really caught me. Nothing got stuck in my head or anything like that. It wasn't offensive. It's just, it must have just fit. I think it fit the atmosphere of the game. But yeah, nothing really hit me.
That's too bad. Sometimes you think like kind of cyberpunky will have kind of cool music.
Yeah. It takes a backseat to just the environmental sounds, because the sounds in the game, they did really good on just the atmosphere of the title.
So quick question: suitable for a 12-year-old or an 8-year-old, or like what?
Yeah. My daughters have played it. It can be kind of scary because there's like bug things that chase you and can jump on you and tackle you and stuff. There's, when you get in the sewers, there's like weird eyeballs and stuff on the walls that can be a little creepy. But my daughters, it didn't seem to affect them. So beyond that, it's definitely. And I think it says 10 and up.
Cool.
And Metacritic has it at 83, which I think is solid. Yeah, that's about right. 83,
how many hours did you take you?
I didn't find everything in the world. I did it in about 10.
Oh, 10. I thought it was like that's longer than I thought, actually.
Yeah, maybe a little less. It's a solid game. I didn't buy it. It was free with the upgraded PlayStation Plus model. Like Ian was talking about on one episode that he recorded, is that it prorated like the rest of his year. So I got the game for a little less than the game would have cost because I don't have a full year of PlayStation Plus left, and it prorated that with the upgraded tier.
Yep. Very
cool. So I balanced it on that, and I've actually played other games on that service too. So it's worth clicking into.
A cat game.
Yeah, but especially like if you're halfway through your subscription and they prorate that, it's like, yeah, okay, $30, and I can have this game, and oh, hey, there's a few others I want to play. There, you just made your $30 back.
Shadow Warrior 3, Jarrod.
Games. Yeah, you think? Yeah, well, I might play that someday. Yeah.
On the side note to that, if you're renewing PS Plus, CD Keys has 12 months of just the basic for $43.
Okay, that's the lowest I've seen in a while. Mine expires in December.
Yeah, mine needed to be renewed at, I think, start of next month, so I was just looking around and...
Cool.
Yeah, I gotta look this around.
I'll keep my eye out. I still have time.
Well, thank you, Jarrod, for that. Stray.
Of course.
Comes with a recommendation, I guess.
Yeah, thumbs up on that.
And I think we're done with our beer. So let's finish this one off. What are kind of the final thoughts as we polish this beer?
Yeah, solid, easy-going beer. It
just
does have
nice
a bit of an
beer.
aftertaste. It stays in my mouth. That's not going away. So that's its only downfall right there.
It kind of sucks because I haven't been drinking really today, and so I don't really have any beer in the house except the RPM.
That one.
This one and the RPM.
Oh, geez.
So. Well, you can get RPM everywhere because it's a good beer, so
I'm probably
gonna. Hopefully,
you have water in your refrigerator.
I do, but I have to go upstairs.
Oh,
you've got gin.
I also have to go upstairs.
You can wait if you want to run to safe.
No. Nick, so what are your final thoughts on this beer? You picked it.
I liked it. Like I said before, I was kind of surprised, like how quickly I kind of turned around on it. Just kind of, like I said, it just caught me at the right time. Now that I've had a few of them, it's just like it's a pretty good beer, and I can't wait till it comes out again next summer.
Just pretty average price beer, like a.
Yeah, it.
$15 12-pack or something. 16?
I'm not sure if it's available in 12 packs.
It's only in sixers.
I've only seen 6-packs.
I think it's sixers only.
Or maybe in like a summer mix pack or something like that.
I never pay attention to the price of 6-packs anymore anyway. So it could.
I know what you
go
mean.
For $10, it could like, I mean, sometimes I still feel like I'm stuck in the past where I used to see craft 6-packs for like $6.99 at some places. But
Yeah.
I know what you
Something
mean.
something
It's
I
like
would like to
9 to
point
12 bucks.
out about this beer is it's very citrusy, but it doesn't give me that citrusy gut feeling. You know, like that weird sensation you
Yeah,
get in
it's
your stomach
citrusy
after a
without the
citrusy beer.
acidness of it.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
acidity is
well,
very
I was
low.
I was actually trying to ask you, Jared. When you mentioned the aftertaste, was it kind of a citrusy aftertaste?
Yeah,
I mean, is
citrusy,
that
but
what that
kind of
is?
sticky.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if it's because I haven't drank enough water today or if it's the aftertaste of the beer or what. It's just, yeah,
Mm.
it's staying around.
All right, Dave, what do you think? Final thoughts.
I like this beer. There's nothing inherently wrong with it, but there's nothing inherently memorable to me. So it's kind of like, it's not a bad beer by any measure of the stick. And if there was a cooler full of it, I'd be very happy to drink it. But I just don't think it's something I'd actually go out and get.
Okay.
If I was in the mood for this kind of beer, I'd probably go for a Widmer Hefeweizen type beer.
Yeah,
Maybe
totally.
go for a half more, but
Aaron, where are you at?
I love the beer. Honestly, I mean, yes, it's nice, it's crisp, it's good for a very hot summer day. I mean, honestly, if we had this after the 100-degree weather that we've had the past week or month or whatever, yeah, this would be right up my alley for it. In fact, but the thing is, it's like any other time of year, I don't know if I'd be looking for it, but only I'd be really going after it during the summertime. So it's definitely like one of my favorite summertime beers for sure.
Cool.
But all around beer, there's other beers out there. Don't get me wrong. I would definitely search it out during the summer.
I'm kind of with Dave on this one. And because it's a seasonal, and I'll probably just forget about it. I probably like, and even if I said, "Oh, there's that beer," I'm probably still gonna buy something else, just because. But if you know, like Dave said, if it was like in a chest or something, or at Nick, we go to Nick's house and he's got like a bunch of it. Yeah, I'll pound him. But I probably won't buy it.
yeah, I totally wouldn't be disappointed if I went over to someone's house, or even at my house if I was like, I open the fridge and that's all I've got to drink, if you know what I mean. But by the same token, it wouldn't be necessarily the first thing I would reach.
Put it this way: if we were just happened to have, we were going to go to a restaurant, but that restaurant wasn't serving at that moment, we had to go to some other small burger joint, let's say, and the only beer they had was this and like a couple IPAs. I'm getting this.
I totally am right there with you.
But is that a commentary on this beer, or is that a commentary of how you feel about IPAs right now,
That's a commentary on last night.
or both?
Okay.
Indian joke I'm not a part of.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. There's like it's a little bit of an inside joke. I apologize. What do you guys? What's the thumbs up? Thumb me roll. How many chubs? I'm gonna go high. I'm gonna go halfway.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
solid
feel
beer.
like that's a
good,
fair
that's a good
score. Yeah.
That's actually might be a little high.
That's-
Actually,
that's-
3.5.
might be a
I
little
think
high.
it's right where it should be, honestly. I mean, it's not the greatest beer, but it's not like
Yeah,
you would go,
that's
ew.
probably good.
Yeah, it's a good beer.
Okay.
It's a solid Sam Adams.
It's well made and
Beer.
it tastes good. It's, there's
You're not
Yeah.
disappointed in
Yeah.
any sip, but at the same token, it's like, am I going to drink a 12-pack of this? No. Am I going to drink a 6-pack? Yes.
Yeah, there's
Am I
better
gonna go
Sam
out for
Adams,
it
but
afterwards?
yeah.
Well, Nick, to get us
It
back on
has
video
its
games,
place.
what video game are you pairing this wonderful summer ale with?
Who wants to guess first of all?
California Games.
Aside from Ian.
California Games.
Aside from Ian.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Not me.
Get out of here.
I'm going to go with something light and fun to play, like a sports game, maybe?
Or summer
beach
games.
splash.
Summer
I didn't think about that.
games.
Where's Sam Adams? Where's their main?
Oh, Jesus.
Boston?
The Commonwealth.
Yes, thank you.
Fallout.
Fallout, okay.
The cold, brutal,
Is that-
desolate
Is that where it takes place?
Yeah.
Boston.
Yes.
Boston.
Makes sense.
Okay.
Sorry.
Boston. Get some clam chowder. That's it.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's move
Get
on.
some Mirage chowder.
We're all hanging out through this, the top 5.
Chowder.
Oh yeah, I got a top
Yeah.
5 ready,
All right,
ready
all right.
to roll.
Yeah.
Let's do it then. So we're going to move into the topic, and tonight we're doing, for fun, top 5 games we don't like of all time. So, I actually had a little bit of a difficult because I decided to go not only games you had to have played them, but I also picked games that I hadn't beat. So I might hate a game, but I finished it. So I feel like that's not a good representation. I feel like I had to not like it and not finish it. So I went that direction. But you guys can do whatever you want.
I have one I hate played all the way through.
I've hate played quite a few games, and sometimes you learn to kind of like them.
Well,
Not my case.
You guys already know one of them that's on my list.
Well,
I was kind of struggling because there's probably been some
Fallout?
games.
No.
Yes, it's like, oh, I can't hate my Fallout baby, but no, it was just there's probably some games that I've probably missed, and maybe it's just been they were so bad they were traumatizing that I don't remember them.
Right.
But those are probably more NES, Super Nintendo, Genesis games. That
Yeah, I was trying to go.
I mean, I like was even like looking through like published like people who published lists, like seeing if that would kind of jog a memory. Sorry, Dave, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
No.
finish the thought.
I did the same thing.
I was just trying to think of something that would kind of like jog my memory, and I mean, I eventually came to 5, but still, it was a little bit of a struggle for me.
Did anyone else put like any additional rules on yourselves, or no?
No, just the ones that came to the top of my mind.
I've got
I forgot
solid.
to make the list until the show started, so I got it real quick.
Well, then let's get to it really quick.
Yeah.
Jarrod, you get to be first. What's your number 5?
Oh, I do. My number 5. Let's see. I have Bionic Commando on the PS3.
Oh my god, that is a pretty awful game.
That's one I hate beat.
Wait.
I actually finished the game. I hated it all the way through.
Wait. Is that the 3D one or the 2D?
PS3?
Okay, because
Yeah,
I
one.
remember the rearmed one.
I got pissed off at that one, but it's
that was fun.
It was
Okay.
more fun. Yeah,
All
the rearmed one was actually fun.
Yeah, that 3D one is rough.
Yeah, that 3D one's hard to play. It's just garbage. The gameplay was pure trash, and the story was stupid. Very stupid.
That's
I think
perfect.
in the end, your arm ends up being your wife or something like that. Whatever.
I never played. I couldn't get through it.
Yeah, this story was such bullshit. It was so stupid. Everything about the game was terrible.
Nick, number 5.
So this was for the NES, but it was an unlicensed video game. And you've probably all heard of it before. It's called Bible Adventures.
Yeah. I was thinking they were going to say
heard
that.
game.
It's
You
terrible.
actually mean that though.
I played it. The blue cartridge?
I don't know. I can't remember the color of it. I just know, like, when I first saw the cartridge, it just, like, stood out. It was just like, this doesn't feel very... I mean, this was kind of at a time where... I mean, it was still because it came out in 91, so I mean, I was clearly in my teens when I finally came around to it. It was a video game that was at my stepfather's parents' house when they were fostering people, kids, whatever. So, I mean, it was just kind of one of those things that I just played because it was there to play. And
I get that.
Nothing like going to the foster house that has the Bible video game.
Playing a Bible. Yeah, nothing like that.
I mean,
I got games. Not great games, but games nonetheless.
That's all. I mean, that could probably be its own podcast.
So Nick, you can go to archive.org and play Bible Adventures from 1994.
Why would I do that? Why would I do that?
Just why not? You could you could play
I
Noah's Ark, Baby Moses, or David and Goliath on it.
I could also light myself on fire, and I'm not doing that either.
Dave, what is your number 5?
So my number 5 was a game that I really, really wanted to like, and I just could not get into it. And that was Dead Rising on the Xbox 360. I really thought that would be fun, my kind of game. You know, start and you've got to survive the zombie hordes and all the rest of it. But I got to this point where I was in the cafeteria and I was trying to use the gun controls and they were just like so horrible. And it was just
Didn't you have
everything about the game sounded like it should be a really fun open world game, and then when you played it, it was kind of let down by the controls and just like very repetitive and boring.
I feel like I remember when you bought that. Wasn't you bought like a 2-pack or something at Retro? I feel like I remember
I think I got
that.
it from Retro because I played it later on. It was and then while the pandemic was on, because I actually got through quite a few 360 games that I hadn't played, like Portal 2 was another one that I'd missed, so I played that, and the original Red Dead Redemption, and a couple of other games which I actually really enjoyed. But Dead Rising, no, I just couldn't get into it, and I was just so disappointed by it.
There's people that love those games. Isn't that?
I think there's
I know,
four
and
of
because
them.
they made 2 of them at least.
No, there's another one
yeah.
coming. The new one is they finally showed it again at
Why?
Is it 4?
I think 4 is the new one.
New one that's coming out. It's been like they announced it like 20 years ago, and then they finally showed a trailer again. Anyway, cool. Dead Rising.
Yeah, so it was like it just didn't really do anything for me at all. So
There you go, Aaron. Number 5.
All right. So my number 5 actually kind of goes way back too, actually, to the Game Gear. It is Battletoads for the Game Gear, also known as the world's most difficult game. Actually rated by a lot of websites saying it's the most difficult game to play, especially on the Game Gear, because you had to have cheat codes to go through it. I did not like that game, especially there were certain parts where I just couldn't. I couldn't have broke that goddamn Game Gear if I wanted to, because that thing's a tank, as Ian knows. It's in his museum, and that game it's still working, by the way. The console threw me
it
through
works
a little.
fine.
But anyway, no.
Yeah.
I think I may even have a copy of that because I've got a Game Gear here as well.
So the only one of those games I was able to beat was Battletoads and Battle Maniacs on the Super Nintendo, and they had the speeder bike levels on that too. But I had an ASCII pad that had slow motion on it with turbo on the button, so I could keep patting start and slow motion. You could hold the jump button when you knew you had to and jump. You go just really slow. So I was able to actually get through that.
I mean, I had the OG
Yeah,
Battletoads on Nintendo, and though I agree that game is super fucking hard, having watched people like play through it, it's like incredible to me, because back then, like, exactly, you needed cheat codes. We would use the Game Genie to get to a different level, and we could get from a level to a level, but then there's certain levels. It's like, how the fuck do you get through that? I just like don't want to kill myself.
Like the speeder level.
No,
exactly.
we made it. We did eventually make it through that speeder level. I have done that as a kid back in the day. I did make it
for
through.
you, because even with Game Genie, I couldn't.
It's the fucking Klinger Winger one that's awful. Though not the speeder, the other one where it's like the big wheel and you. There's another racing one further on in the game that's awful.
But how, Aaron? How did you feel about the NES version? I mean,
I didn't
you hate
play
that one
the
too, or
NES
did you?
version. I didn't play that one. I played the arcade version of that game, though, and I enjoyed the arcade one, probably because it was a bigger screen and it wasn't like zip, zap, zoop, zap, zoop, zap. It was more like boom, boom. And also people could jump in and help at any time, so that was nice. But the Game Gear one was just so bad.
I can imagine.
I quit playing it after that. I couldn't. I just couldn't. I had other games to play, and was not one of them.
Yeah, some games shouldn't be played on a small screen.
Yeah,
that's one of them for sure.
Well, we're gonna come.
Most of the games on the Game Gear are like that.
We're gonna come full circle here, just recently, because my number 5 is coming back to the Commonwealth. Fallout 3. Fuck that game. Like I don't. It's funny. It's funny
Yeah,
that
that game.
that I liked Fallout. Well, you know what? I didn't really like Fallout 4. I didn't like Fallout 4 until I modded it. So maybe I would have liked Fallout 3 if I modded it. But like, I don't know. I tried to play Fallout 3 like two or three times,
Same here. That's my number 2.
and it's like this has got to be a game. Like everyone loves this. Like, and I just cannot. It's so boring and just like everything about it. Just it like everything about it says it should be an Ian game. But it's just not. It doesn't grab a hold of me. I don't care. It just like
I totally get that.
so I don't like it.
I totally get that.
So I just wasn't gonna suffer through it. So that's my number 5. Sorry, Nick. Jarrod, number
I didn't
4.
make the game, so-
I know you didn't. Jarrod, number 4.
XCOM.
XCOM. Holy shit.
Only because I am terrible at
Punching David and
strategizing
God
the
over here.
battles, and I was always terrible at the battles. I feel like
I actually
games
enjoyed
that
that
I
part.
just am impeccably losing all the time and feel like I'm never going to win. I just don't like that feeling. And XCOM is
What
really
you're
good at
saying
that.
is it's a shit game because you're a shit gamer.
I'm
Yeah.
not saying it's a
Yeah.
shit game. I just don't like it because
Ah,
it
man,
makes me
you
feel
just
bad
pissed
when I
Dave
play it and
off.
everybody dies, and I just feel like I have no options.
I agree with you.
I have some.
I
on
agree
my
with
list,
you.
like-
I agree with you, Jarrod.
Yeah.
I won't say I don't like it because there was stuff I found enjoyable. I loved naming all my characters like Jarrod or Dave or Justin. I would name them and then they'd die, and then I'd I'd pour one out for my teammates, and then have to come up. Then I was like, I ran out. The problem is in the
Out your
beginning you name all your friends these characters, and
Yeah.
then they all die, and it's like, oh well, I guess I'll
Quickly.
just start naming them as
Yeah.
porn stars or something because I'm running out of names.
Yeah.
You're down
Yeah.
to the like D team by
So
pretty
I'm,
soon.
I'm not as harsh as Jarrod is. I did play the second one, and I do kind of enjoy that game, but like I'm not good enough, and
I've never made it more than a few hours into the game, but yeah, I've tried several different editions throughout the many years of XCOM, and I've just never had any luck.
cool.
I've tried.
You tried
I
to
have.
use
The latest one that was on
the
Steam
Chimera
was
one. The
actually,
Chimera one.
The third
Chimera
person one.
that was actually a lot simpler. There was a lot less going on. And
That sounds like a me
Oh.
game right there.
I think
Although it's still-
Mario
I mean,
plus
it's still got
Rabbids
the-
is more Jared's pace probably.
Yeah. I was going to say
Oh.
if the strategy bit is the bit that you're struggling with, it's still pretty hard in places. So
Well, I always like the formula for games like Final Fantasy Tactics seems like it's perfect for me. I love Final Fantasy. I love role playing. It had a really amazing story, amazing music, but then the gameplay I was just completely terrible at. I just can't grasp strategy. It just doesn't work.
What is that game, Dave, that I got you turned on to? Did I buy it for you? I don't know. It's like a kind of a story-driven strategy game with the duck and the warthog. Some Mutant Year Zero, I think. Isn't that what it is?
yes, that's it.
So
Yes.
that one I actually really got into, and then I think just newer games
was
came
fun,
along
yeah.
that I
Yeah.
stopped playing it. But I wish I would go back to that because I really kind of enjoyed that strategy of that game. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah, I really enjoyed that game too. It was just fun.
all right, Nick, number 4.
WWE 2K20.
Ah,
Is that because of
I
all
mean,
the graphical
he's
issues?
joking. He's
Oh,
joking.
he's
A
joking.
lot of the no,
He's being
it
serious.
seriously is.
Oh, I thought you
I'm
said that was
serious.
one of the best ones that Yosef was playing recently, but that must have been a
No,
different.
no,
that was-
that's an old
so,
game.
Okay.
No Mercy, and I was actually going to reference him because I've actually got a couple of wrestling games in this list.
Okay.
But
Yeah, go for it.
so this one, it almost feels like just took like a bunch of steps back in terms of like controls and just kind of just the graphics slash like you look at like the still pictures that they use for the performers, and you're just kind of left scratching your head, like, because the technological abilities of the PS4, you could actually have like actual screenshots of these people, but I mean, you basically have something that's almost childish in a way.
Wasn't that the one that was
Just
super
almost-
buggy? Had like a bunch of bugs?
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, it was. I mean, it was buggy, but by the time I started playing it, I think a lot of it had been fixed. But I mean, there were still just like I mean, the PlayStation controller has not changed from day one. And previous wrestling games that I played before, I mean, they managed to nail down the like. I mean, like 20 years ago, playing some of like the WWE SmackDown or SmackDown versus Raw or whatever. I mean, they already had the controls like basically nailed, like 2002 to 2004, 5, and 6. So, I mean, I jump in thinking this is going to be just like I'm just going to jump right in and already figure this out. And lo and behold, it's there's just like a whole different method to it. And I just kind of struggled with it and that and just kind of the graphics of it. It's just, I mean, I have the game and I don't even really play it just because I still don't know. I still can't figure it out.
That's awful.
Just
That sucks.
yeah, it's just
Yeah.
I mean, so I mean, there's something to be said for a game that kind of recent, like Call of Duty or some other sports games or whatever. Like you reskin stuff. I mean, that's one thing. But I mean, once you figure out the controls of something, I mean, you should really just kind of stick with it.
That'd be like
'Cause-
forcing people to aim with R2 and shoot with L2.
Yeah.
Like just switch it around.
Yeah. It's
Here,
just like,
you guys have to learn this.
I mean, there's some things you should change, but I mean, wrestling games. I mean,
Maybe they're trying to innovate. You're trying to they're trying to like make it easier.
Oh well, they
I'm just
kind of
kidding.
failed.
I don't know. They must have failed.
Yeah, maybe they tried upgrading their grappling system or something like that and just miserably failed.
It's like the third.
I know. I'm talking to a bunch of guys that
No.
probably don't play this type
Well,
of
no,
game.
no.
So,
But like
I mean,
I'll give you an example. Like the third Def Jam game, Def Jam, that one on the new consoles. It wasn't Def Jam Vendetta or Def Jam Fight for New York. It was Def Jam, and it was all music based, and you would press down. It was all weird and stupid, and it was clunky and awful. So the third Def Jam game is garbage. But anyway.
Sounds almost like trying to play Rumble Roses.
I mean, it was
that game's great.
I mean, I guess the most frustrating part about this game is the fact that it's why now are they sitting here fucking around?
Maybe they fixed it.
Already.
Have you played the newer?
Well,
the newer one?
I have not, but I mean, part of it was, I mean, like even looking into this when I was putting this list together, it's like one of the publishers that had published all the previous games beforehand was not a part of this game. So I mean, there's probably that. But
there you go.
I don't know. I mean, it's still frustrating and it sucks because I really wanted to like it. And
all right.
It made me sad.
Well, keep being sad because it's Dave's number 4. Let's go, Dave.
Oh, my number 4 I gave to Jarrod because I didn't like it at all. It was Alien Isolation on the PlayStation 4. I thought that would be my kind of game. But I just found it really boring. Because I wasn't scared by it, so I would wander around, and then I'd encounter the alien, and then I'd just run around until I lost the alien or it killed me, and then I'd go and do the same thing again, and it was just, oh man, I just didn't enjoy it. And I know it's a rated game, and people praise it for the atmosphere and all the rest of it, but for some reason it just didn't. You just didn't hit that little spot. It's like a horror movie, some horror movies you watch, and they get you that on edge thing. It just didn't do that for me, and apparently it does it for a lot of people. So this was a game. I wouldn't say it was the worst game ever. I just found it really disappointing. I was hoping for a lot more.
I still haven't tried it, and I always thought it would be an interesting VR game.
Yeah, it should have been in VR, right?
Yeah, with a really good surround sound.
Oh, that would
headphones or something like that.
Not be playing that.
Awesome.
I'm already not gonna play that game, so in VR, I'm definitely not gonna play that game.
Yeah,
but I mean, if you like sneaking around stealth games, then it's kind of cool. But even when I've played it as a sneaking around stealth game, it's like I'd just randomly come across the alien, and it was like, oh, now I've got to run around and go around in circles or whatever until I can't find it anymore.
Yeah, I'm terrible at stealth games. That's the main reason I just kind of always push that game to the side.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Anyway, that's my number 4.
There you go. Aaron, number 4.
I gotta go with what Dave said. His number 5 was Dead Rising, the first one. That one was just. I love zombie shooter games. I love that whole like gotta get out and do all that sort of thing. I love those type of things. In fact, I even love the movies that have them in malls, like Dawn of the Dead and those type of things. But that game, it was just so clunky and
Preach, brother. Yeah.
yeah. And then like you had to like go find workshops to build your weapons stuff. Because I get that, that's fine. But they did it in a way it was just like really, I have to have like 50,000 parts to make this one thing that you, if you use it once, it's next to impossible to find the parts again for it. It's like, come on, guys, what are you doing? And then like, it was just so bad. Also, the graphics were like, it was Xbox 360,
Yeah.
but it felt more like PS2, late PS2.
The only redeeming feature in that game that I remember now thinking about it was sitting on the lawnmower and running over the zombies. That was kind of fun for a while.
Oh yeah, I didn't get that. I don't think I got that far. So I was like, I'm done.
It was the kind of thing like more of that kind of stuff in the game would have been great, but then the lawnmower would run out of fuel, and you could never tell when it was going to run out of fuel. And so
Right.
yeah, then obviously you'd get eaten.
I get fuel
Right.
running out in games like Doom, but why in like an open world game where cars never run out of fuel would you like take away the? Why would you take away the fun? You know,
or at least not have a fuel gauge that's easily like readable. So it's like, okay, I'm getting close. I should stop running around this big horde of zombies. But anyway,
my number 4, and this is funny because I would go on to like the other games in the franchise, but Watch Dogs number 1 is not a good game. It's boring. It's like one of the worst open world games. It's just like a boring lead character. And I'm a Ubisoft apologist. I will play games. I've played a lot of Assassin's Creed games I don't like, and I'll finish them. But Watch Dogs 1 is just not interesting, not compelling.
I'm with you there, Ian. I've got a copy of it on the shelf back there, and I think I played an hour or two, and I was just like, nah, this isn't for me.
World design
didn't make my list because I haven't played it enough.
World design is boring. Cars they don't drive, but they fix a lot of that in the second one, and then the third one I think is the greatest. Like the second one I got really cheap and I played it. The third one I bought full price and love it. But that first one, man, I'm surprised I would carried on. But I guess it's good because they kept changing the characters, and the kind of the style of the game. But man, that first one, it's like just boring, just beige, just like
kind of like
Dogs
Dead Rising.
beige.
It's like you're surprised it got a sequel.
Yeah, kind of. There are fans of that game, but I don't.
And
get
they
it.
do get better. I assume as they go on, like most games do. But
yeah, Jarrod, number 3.
Number 3 is Resident Evil 5.
Oh,
specifically because they added an AI co-op partner. If you didn't have anybody to play online with,
that's where you're wrong.
Yeah, I did not get to play with a friend because nobody was playing it when I was playing it. And the AI person just ends up taking ammo and wasting ammo and stuff like that and missing every shot and just making the game really hard and annoying. I just couldn't stand that the AI was written so poorly in the game.
Yeah, I can get that.
Yeah, I didn't beat that game. I didn't even play 6 because it looked too similar. I don't know if they had a co-op person or whatever. But no, I was done with that. It made me take a big break from Resident Evil.
Yeah, that's kind of in the blockbuster movie time of Resident Evil, back before they went back to being more of a horror, a little scarier, more story driven, less kind of Japanese crazy. Like a lot of the newer like Resident Evils aren't as like crazy Japanese over the top. Like I don't think 6 has AI, but I think it has just crazy over the top shit going on.
I think that got really bad reviews. I never tried it. Anyway, but 7 I loved. I played the whole thing in VR. I still have yet to buy 8.
Well, you get that sweet big buttocks. You get to look forward to.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Cool. Resident Evil 5.
All right.
Nick, number 3.
War Gods for the Nintendo 64.
I never played that.
What game?
War Gods.
War Gods.
Oh,
So
sorry. I just
it
kind
was
of
a.
cut out for a second.
So
Okay.
it was.
I know you're talking about.
It was a. It was. You do?
Yes, I've heard of the game
Oh, okay.
and I've heard of it. I
Okay.
couldn't hear you. Literally, like it literally cut out for a second on my end. I've heard of the
No,
game. It was
no, I'm
not the
not. I'm
greatest.
not. It's just I don't know anybody who actually knew this game. It was a fighting
I
game.
see.
The only reason I got it is because it was for sale, brand new, $10.
Oh, that's a sign.
Wow.
Shortly. Yeah, well, yes, it was a sign, but it was kind of like this. Well, it could suck. It's $10, brand new, but at the same point, it's
It's
$10. So I
$10.
mean,
Yeah.
whatever. So we'll give it a shot.
Hmm.
And even just kind of looking into some of the research, it's made by Midway Games, kind of the same people that made Mortal Kombat, and there's a lot of Mortal Kombat influence in there.
Hmm.
But it just, I mean, I've put it in, tried to play it. I mean, not a big complaint about the controls because I mean a lot of it's fairly similar. I never bothered to look up like trying to learn like secret moves for the characters. Like, I mean, this is kind of like an area where the internet and like I guess GameFAQs probably existed, but I didn't know about it, which may have made the play a little bit better because then I could have looked up some of the moves. But
Do you still have it?
at the same I'm sure I have it somewhere
Oh, you can find
buried
the
in
move. You can
my.
find the moves now.
Yeah, I mean, oh, definitely, but I mean, still, I mean, just like it's going to take a lot more than that just to kind of grab me because I mean, I've tried multiple times just to, like even my brothers when I was living at home and I had my N64 hooked up. I mean, they kind of jump on and they just be like, eh. I mean, they'd play for a little bit and then just kind of get bored because I mean, some of the characters are actually kind of really cool. I mean, you've got Anubis in there, if, from Egypt or whatever. But I mean, just I don't know. It kind of just feels kind of like Mortal Kombat
Isn't there a new
light,
version of this
and
game?
So I have good
there
news,
might
Nick.
be.
I've
You could
seen
go
it.
Yes.
on to archive.org and play the PlayStation 1 version.
I feel like there's a new version of
I
this
mean, that
game
might be
though.
different. I mean,
It was
it.
also released for arcade, Nintendo 64,
No,
and
I mean, it was.
Windows.
It was an arcade game. I mean, I kind
Yeah.
of looked it up too before, like while I was putting this list together. But I mean, I'm just kind of basing it based on my. I mean, like I said, we had to have played this game, and my experience was the N64 port, which I bought for $10, I think, at Target. And even if you look it up, like I don't even really remember it, but I mean, just kind of the graphics were just kind of ho hum. Uh, just it I mean the game just basically didn't grab me. It like to take the scenic route to get to the end point just didn't grab me like maybe Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat would have back in the day.
Cool.
I mean maybe there's some cool stuff, some cool finishing
I thought there was a new
moves.
version of it. I swore I saw a trailer for something
And
like that.
there probably was because I mean I think the N64 version probably got like not great reviews, but I think overall I think people probably thought it, just
Oh, I remember seeing
they
this in
probably they probably
magazines.
didn't hate it as they probably didn't hate it as much as I guess I did for the 64.
Yeah, I remember seeing it in like EGM back in the day, yeah, with a Kabuki
Yeah.
character. It's funny, yeah.
All right, Davey. Number 3.
Oh yeah, number 3. I've got two, but they go between number 1 and number 2. But I would say Stuntman on the PlayStation 2. So it was a game, and it should be really fun. It's like you've got to jump the car through the train and do all these
Oh,
like
yeah.
stunts. You've got to go through a series of predefined gates in a set time. So you have 10 seconds to get to the next gate, and you go through. But this game was spoiled by it. It's like pixel perfect on the gate, and they didn't correspond to what was on screen.
Yeah, we played that at Ian's.
Yeah, I remember
No,
or something like it.
you had the
remake
PS3
or
version, the Stuntman Ignition.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes, I don't know if they fixed it on that one, but
No,
on
it was worse. That was worse.
Yeah.
the first one was just terrible. It was like
I
it
beat that
reminded
first
me.
one, Dave.
Oh gosh,
Ugh,
I think I
woof.
tried, and I just couldn't get. I can't remember which level I gave up on, but because I actually really banged my head against it for a week or two.
Oh, I
you know,
agree. It's
like I've got this one game. It's like,
it's awful.
but yeah, it was just horrendously difficult and an awful game that honestly should have been really fun. It's like you want to do the stunt and then it would give you the replay afterwards and it would look kind of cool, and I liked all the
idea.
different variety of stuff and the idea. It was a great idea. It was just so badly executed.
I think it was from the guys that made Driver. I think that's.
I think it was, which
I
was
think
really
that's kind
sad
of
as well, because that's not a bad game, Driver. It's not a great game either. It's not aged well, but you know,
But
not a lot of those. But anyway, that's my number 3.
All right, Aaron, you're number 3.
All right, my number 3 is actually back on the Xbox 360, the third installment of Doom. That game, they tried to give Doom an actual story this time around versus what feels. I mean, they all had a story, but this one they felt like they forced a story a little more than like what was kind of going on organically in the reboots and the older ones. And this one was just like, and they gave Doom guy a voice, and I'm just like, what are they doing? Why are they giving him a voice? He doesn't fucking talk. He points at things or he points his gun at somebody and shoots them. Why are you giving him a voice?
He makes good pain sounds and grunts when you push the wall. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's also more of a corridor shooter,
Yeah.
kind of like more like Dead Space would become.
Yes.
Less open than Doom is.
Yeah.
I'm most of the way through Doom 3. I think on Stadia I bought Doom 3.
I have it on Switch.
Yeah, I mean, the music was good, but that's about really it for that game. It was just like, ugh, everything was super shiny versus like gritty, like even the newer ones would become.
They released it in
doing?
VR in the last couple of years.
I remember
Doom
when that
3.
game first came out and how it was just killing PCs. It was just like a beast of a game.
Yeah, the lighting effects.
Yeah, the lighting effects.
Yeah.
Now I look at it on my Switch and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, no, that's my number 3. I was sorely disappointed because I love the franchise overall, but that one was like let me just forget about that one, guys. Just for me anyway.
I'm glad Doom changed
Doom 3
after
ever
that.
happened. Yes, I agree wholeheartedly. It's got a lot better.
Oh, sorry, go ahead, Aaron. I'm sorry.
That's it. No, that's all I got.
I actually wrestled with actually just putting Doom as a whole because I think ultimately I don't really like it.
Oh, I love Doom.
Because
Yeah.
but I didn't put that on my list, so I won't talk about that. But my number 3.
Get it.
This is okay. So you already know what this is going to be, but Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah. There's
even some streams. There's even some streams of me hate playing this game, and I will say this: the first Red Dead I kind of hate played through, and then it clicked with me, and then I beat it, and I enjoyed the ending of that game. I just could not make a connection with Red Dead Redemption 2. I don't believe everyone is talking about it. I don't get what you guys are talking about. Like, I see it totally different. It's like, anyway. So I don't want to go into this because I've talked about it a lot on the show in the past. But
still one of the best fishing mini games.
No, fuck that shit.
Oh gosh.
Anyway, so that's where I'm at. Anyway, Red Dead 2. Fuck that shit. All right, Jarrod, number 2.
So, number 2, earlier you mentioned Fallout 3, so I'll just throw a different one in there. Cliffhanger for the Super Nintendo, based on the movie.
I played that. We rented that one time.
It
That is
was
awful.
so bad.
Dude,
Yeah,
that
it's
snowboarding
one of the
scene,
worst.
that snowboarding level, it's just like, what is going on here? Okay.
It was like an old school brawler, like Bad Dudes or something like that. And
There's probably a whole episode of
yeah.
bad movie tie-ins, isn't there?
Oh yeah,
Probably.
And arcade
one of them.
conversions that were like just terrible because that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the
Yeah.
most disappointing part is I traded somebody. I had Clay Fighter, which wasn't the greatest game.
Yeah, Clay Fighter's
and
not good either.
I traded him for Cliffhanger, and I was even more disappointed.
This is the hit movie in theaters right now, Jarrod. You should play the game. It's awesome.
Yeah, pure
Yeah.
garbage. Yeah,
Sorry.
Gosh, yeah, there
Wow.
was so many of those, but
yeah, not worth spending any more breath on that game.
All right.
Right.
Nick, number 2.
So this one I had to pull from memory. Well, I mean, all these are pulling from memory, but this is WWF Attitude. But I can't remember which system we were playing it on. We rented it. It was 1999, but
Our
kind
resident
of the latter
wrestling
half-
professional.
Yeah, well, but I can't remember because I had an N64. My roommate at the time had a PlayStation 1, but it may have been after the Dreamcast came out, and it was available for all
I
three
think it was
systems.
Dreamcast. I remember this game too.
Yeah, but I can't remember which system we played it for. I just remember it. I mean, it was after I'd already played. I mean, go back, and I'm going to plug Yusuf Hatlani's stream of No Mercy, but he was playing a game. I mean, there's a lineage of games. It started with WCW. There's some WCW games. There was this Toy Headquarters. They had publishing rights for WCW games. They made a really big hit. Revenge was a really great game. They nailed controls. Then they got a WWF license, and it just only got better from there. But at that point, I was already used to their controls. So when I got Acclaim's version of WWF Attitude, it felt like you were playing like a fighting game. Well, I mean, wrestling is a fighting game, but not
like a grappling game.
Right. Well, I mean, they had a grapple button where it's like you try and grab a guy, but then it kind of devolved into you go back into Street Fighter mode where you try and do like moves. Well, I mean, not that you're trying to do moves, but I mean, you're trying to hit like a button sequence, kind of like you're trying to do a Hadouken or whatever, just to try and accomplish a move. And it just didn't work for me. I didn't like it. Some of the graphics were just kind of ho-hum. I hated the fact that I mean, if you want to go back into wrestling's history of like not being stadium shows, but more just like high school gyms or whatever, that's great when you see entrance wrestlers coming out of an entrance and they come down steps. That makes sense. Not on a big show when you're in stadiums. They had, I mean, you can Google it. They had wrestlers coming down a stairway, which doesn't make a lot of sense in the days where they actually were coming down big, giant, elaborate ramps in real life.
It's easier to render.
I guess so, but it's. I mean,
where's
Acclaim?
Where's Acclaim now?
I don't know, but I'm glad they lost the license. I'm glad. I mean, and it's great because from what happened from that point on is Toy Headquarters actually got to come out with WWF WrestleMania 2000.
THQ
and then
had it forever until
No Mercy
crashed.
Yeah, and I mean there were a couple other companies that were involved, which kind of carried on the tradition. I think I mentioned earlier another entry. But
well, that's okay. That makes sense because THQ had the wrestling thing, and then when they went under, 2K took it over, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, and you don't like that game either. So you need wrestling back at THQ, is what you're saying.
Yeah, and I think there might be something going on. I haven't really fully looked into it, but I think there's something going on with AEW that might be kind of promising, but we'll see.
You know what? I don't know about you guys, but I never liked any of Acclaim's games, and I used to stay away from them like the plague. I know they were always like shiny and supposed to be good, but when you would rent them, I always thought they were just awful games. That was just my opinion.
And I'm so glad that I rented this game, or I'm not sure if I rented it or if my roommate, but anyway, I was so glad we rented this rather than buy it because it was such a trash game and I hated it. But that being said, there was another Acclaim wrestling game that was a few years prior that was actually not that bad. It was for the Super Nintendo. It was, it was about as faithful as I guess you could get, given the technology of what the Super Nintendo was in 1994, 1995. So, it was forgivable then, but for what they came out with in 1999, not so much. And I was glad that the license moved on to Toy Headquarters and launched what became after that.
Cool. Dave, dos.
I am going to combine two shit things from the 80s.
Two shit things. Cool.
Nice.
A deuce.
A game on the on my Amstrad, and it was Challenge of the Gobots, based on the Gobots TV series. I don't know if you ever remember that. It was like a Transformers
ripoff. Leader 1.
Yep,
Leader Transformers.
Cykill, right? Turbo.
Yep, and it was like a Defender clone, except instead of on Defender where there's the ground's on the bottom, you were kind of in this tunnel, so there's ground on the ceiling and ground on the bottom. And as you went like through the middle, the gravity went to the top of the screen instead of the bottom of the screen, depending on where you were, and you had to like pick these little things up and destroy these white things. But the only reason it sticks in my mind, because it was a horrible game, but it did come with the most awesome peak 80s synthesizer music story cassette called The Challenge by some German dude, and it was just, oh man, I need to find.
It's probably on YouTube,
I found a copy of it on
Ian's not getting
YouTube.
it on vinyl, so give that up.
It's also on archive.org.
Of course it is.
Oh, you found the music?
Everything's
No,
on.
I don't have the sound on, but
No, because the game, it's not in-game music. It was like two cassettes. So one cassette was that, or disc was the actual game, but it came with an audio cassette that was two-sided. That someone had generated this. Oh man, it was just epic. And so, yeah, it was terrible game that I really, really wanted to love, because the cassette that came with it was just so good. But I'll see if I can find it online and I'll post it to the Discord. But
cool. Aaron, dose.
Number 2.
All right, my number 2. This one was kind of a toughie in a sense. I want to go with this game called Lair on the PS3. It's like a
the dragon
medieval drag. Yeah. Then they made it. They really pushed you to use 6-axis controllers to fly the dragon, and oh my god, it was so clunky. The battling was so one-dimensional. It felt like just, and then cool, win the control, swerve. I don't want to be swerving while doing that. I want to be able to do everything else with the buttons and stuff. It was just, and the graphics for how they're pushing all this game. It was just like.
I remember that, man. Lair was like, oh, it's gonna be this great game, and then that game did not hit well.
It was basically visual diarrhea with dragons, and it made me sad because I like usually games like that. I like the
in concept,
Shadow of War with and then I like other games. I even like Drakengard, which was awesome. But that game, it was just like, oh my god, why? What did you do? What did you do?
Why can't we have Ace Combat with dragons? Why can't we? Why is that not a good idea? Why can't someone just make a good game of that? Not make a shitty game, but make a good game of that? I think that
would actually be pretty awesome.
Pretty fucking awesome, I think. Oh well.
Because that makes sense, and there's no sense anymore.
Yeah,
but no, that's number 2.
Number sense. My number 2. So my next 2 picks are going to be just controversial. Everyone's going to hate me, and it's cool. That's just how it is. Because I hate games. I hate fun, and everyone else loves fun. Huh. But number 2, Mario Kart. Fuck that whole franchise. I don't like these games. I never have liked these games. I will never like these
Mario
games.
Kart.
So. They're not racing games. They're just grief your friend games. Yeah. And
kart
there
games
you go.
With a blue shell. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all they
are. Yeah, I was gonna hit like grief. The blue shell right now.
Yeah, I know Dave likes grief. If you ever
Yeah,
played
I
Urban
love-
Rain, that's like Urban Grief, basically.
I was wondering if that would appear on the
No, that's a good
list,
game.
but,
I just like that belongs on the top 5 griefing games. Anyway, Mario Kart. I don't need to
That
talk
game
about
is
it.
not
Everyone
broken.
knows what Mario Kart is. You either like it or you
it's
don't.
too adorable for Ian.
I'm a real race car driver.
Uh-huh.
I don't like fake candy ass karting.
Not even Crash Team Racing, man.
You know what? I
Right.
try to like kart racing, and I think ultimately I just don't like it. I'd rather be
fine.
driving. Anyway,
I get it.
Jarrod, number 1.
Grand Theft Auto 5.
Oh man.
Oh,
wow.
that's a
Whoa, that's fighting
wow.
words.
I did not see that coming. Actually,
I agree.
I've tried
Wow.
starting it a few times,
agree.
and I don't know. I oftentimes have troubles playing games that just take place in cities because everywhere I go, I'm only looking at the radar. I'm like not actually enjoying looking at the scenery because it's a giant city. I'm not going to remember where to go, so I'm always just staring up at the radar. Whereas places that are like open environments and stuff like that, you can just kind of see where you need to go for the most
Yeah.
part. And I don't know, just having to use like the GPS and all that stuff all the time just gets really annoying because you're kind of supposed to be enjoying what you're doing in the game, not just staring at the radar.
And your phone's constantly ringing, and they want you to come do some
Yeah.
other shit, and it's just like, God, can I just do this? Can you leave
Yeah,
me
but-
alone?
Jared,
A lot of games like
voicemail?
that take place in cities. Yeah, what's up, Nick?
you need to tap into your delivery persona.
No,
Yeah,
I think it's the last thing he wants to do.
Yeah, work while
Me-
gaming. That's always
And
fun.
Oh yeah, work
It's
That no one ever.
I mean,
Yeah,
it
Truck
sounds
Driver
dumb,
Simulator,
but,
Jared.
I mean,
yeah.
I
There's a
mean,
game
it
about
sounds
that.
silly,
It's
but I
weird.
mean, on some level, like just playing like previous. I mean, I haven't really spent a lot of time playing GTA 5, but I mean, just previous installments. It actually kind of helps a little bit. Just like kind of just
You're
I mean,
delivering
I
your
know it's
character
video
to the
game-
waypoint.
necessarily that, but I mean,
If
just
they
like
could
kind
do
of,
that, you play Death
I mean,
Stranding.
just there is a little bit of a difference. There are like a little bit of landmarks you can actually pay attention to that kind of, you can kind of get to know the lay of the land just based on like couple. I mean, I know
We're
it's video
basing
game,
his
not
hate of the
real
game
life,
only
but
on the
it-
driving and the map right now. Like, I would like point out, like,
I know.
there's 3 characters in that game, and only one of them I like spending time with, and that's the mob guy. Like, I don't care about the other guy. I don't care about the psycho. I don't care if they were like characters in the game that I had to interact with, but I don't like playing as them. And then the game would always make you have to go do missions with them, and it's like, I don't want to be these guys. I like the funny guy. I like the funny mob boss guy. That's where I was
I'm
on
just
that game.
responding to Jared's criticism
I'm
of
just-
having
I'm
to watch the GPS, and I was just
I
trying
think-
to like kind of help. but,
I think
mean,
a lot of it is the city-based thing. I play games that take place in big cities and stuff like that from time to time, but I find myself kind of disliking that. I prefer like the
Fantasy.
like smaller fantasy settings and broad open worlds and things like that versus just like here's a bunch of skyscrapers and all that stuff. I mean, I started Cyberpunk but fell off, and I want to get back into that. It's
But that
mostly
world's kinda
city,
cool.
but the city is varied and there's very noticeable landmarks and things like that. But once you
Yes.
get into like climbing some of the buildings, then it just starts getting like, oh, I'm just in this building forever. I don't know. I'll see.
I support your pick.
That makes sense.
Fuck Rockstar. What's your number 1 pick, Nick?
my number one pick. Well, it's not just one game. It's kind of a series of game, and it's the Madden series. Fuck you, Madden. You.
I don't even know if we
You
know.
and your
Do we?
exclusive-
I don't even know. What is that? We don't. I've never heard of this game. Have you
It's
ever
like-
talked about
what?
Madden on our fucking show?
No,
No,
I am
probably not.
there's a
played-
reason for it.
on Genesis,
and
yeah.
Why am I even answering this? Because I don't know. But
Why do you not like it?
no. I mean, I have 2008 Madden. It's on the Wii, and I'm only using this as kind of a basis to trash the whole series because, mainly because EA signed an exclusive agreement with the NFL to where they're going to provide the only NFL game for all the platforms. This was back in 2000. late 2004, 2005, I think.
And they just resigned, didn't they?
Oh,
Okay.
No, I don't think
done
Okay.
they've done a series of re-signings, I believe. I mean, it's just basically an extension. But I mean, as much as I did not like 2K's WWE 2K20, Virtual Concepts, whatever they did with the NBA and the NFL games back in the early 2000s was fucking golden. I love their football
Okay.
games, and I
That's the
was
last Madden I
so
played was like 2001, 2002.
like I said, I mean, I don't think I played it back then. I mean, I probably played it back in the 90s, and it was kind of ho hum. I was more of a Tecmo Super Bowl guy back then. But I I mean, this sounds more like praise for 2K football than trashing Madden. But I mean, I have Madden on the Wii, like I mentioned. Um, it's not that great. I'd rather have my 2K football, and I can't have that because EA won't undercut 2K and decided to, or I guess it's the NFL that fucked everything
Right,
up
because
and
like
decided
if you
to.
look at FIFA's decided that they don't want to be exclusive anymore or some shit. So like that's getting blown out.
Yeah, well, the NFL decided they want to be exclusive, and they went with EA and Madden, and now I'm shit out of luck with
Yeah.
Madden, and I just decided fuck
You'll
them,
find no
fuck
sympathy
EA on
here
this
because
one.
we don't play those games.
I know, and I knew ahead of time that I'm preaching to
Bring back
a
Tech Mobile,
different
right?
audience,
Bo
Yeah.
Jackson.
dude.
Yeah.
And
Or Montana.
actually, on my PS3, there is like a non-licensed
Okay.
uh Tecmo Bowl game where you don't get any of the actual names on the roster or the franchises, but I mean you still get the same basic play. But
Yeah, let's just go back
in
to
any event,
10-yard fight or Tecmo Bowl. Yeah, NES games.
All right. Well, let's
no,
move on
let's
from
just
this discussion of football.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know nobody cares about this, but this was
Okay.
passionate to me. I mean, this is something I've been holding on to for years.
Well, we
so
need to
Yeah.
do then.
the
Maybe
outlet
Nick and
for
I
it,
need to
so.
do like when no one else wants to talk about football. We'll do football.
Yeah.
Dave, number
Yeah.
one.
So my number one isn't actually a bad game. It's a pretty good game, and I've really enjoyed it when I've played it in non-VR mode. But it's Drive Club VR. It takes me about 15 seconds of driving in that game before I feel absolutely sick. If I can make it 30 seconds to a minute, I'm doing really well. But for some reason, that game just like makes me physically want to vomit, and then I have to go lie down for half an hour afterwards.
It wasn't done
geez.
very well
So
in VR.
it's nothing to do with the gameplay. It's just like
it was like early first game, so
Yeah.
like the shuddering is
Yeah.
pretty rough. Yeah,
something about that game. Whew, it's brutal.
If I play it just looking straight, I'm fine. But if I start looking around,
Yes.
Oh yeah.
you're fucked.
Yeah.
Because you're just like,
Yeah.
oh my god.
And it's not just the fact that it just knocks you and makes you feel sick for a few seconds, and if you took the headset off, you'd be fine. It's that like that nausea takes like minutes to go away. At
But
least
that idea
To me,
is
it
cool
does.
because like driving and then looking
Yes.
over your shoulder and like seeing
Okay.
the cars behind you is like
that's exactly
it's
what I
super
wanted
cool.
from a VR game.
It is cool.
Yeah,
It's just not enough frame rate. It's just too shuddery. I'm sure at this point, a lot of those racing VR games have like fixed that. But like this
Yeah.
is like the first one, yeah. So it's rough.
Anyway.
I would like play for an hour or two and then I just get a massive headache.
yeah. I found that with a lot of VR games, the headache. But this one was especially rough because it was just like straight to the vomit comet in less than a minute.
It is.
Yeah,
You
if
know,
you didn't
so-
want to go
Anyway,
to work, just
that's-
play
that's-
that for a little bit and be like, "Oh, I'm barfing."
that's
everywhere.
that's my
Pause.
number one.
All right, Aaron, what's yours? What is it?
All right.
Give it to me.
It's gotta be. All right. It's gotta be. Oh man.
It's gotta be Destiny,
I
right?
gotta say.
No.
No, actually, it's probably gonna have to be. I want to say
A
Fallout
mobile
3.
game?
Fallout 3? Oh,
Fallout 3.
all right. There we go.
I just couldn't. No matter how hard I tried, like literally, I played and I felt like I got through the game. It took an hour and a half, and I was like, okay, this is great. This is a good story. What felt like a good story, and all of a sudden it's like that's the end of the tutorial. Like 2 hours of it, but felt like could have been done in 5 minutes. I'm like, God damn it, I can't do this anymore. I'm bored. Off. Haven't touched it since I bought it.
Game of the year.
Bye.
Game of the year.
Yeah. More like
I had the Game of the Year
thumbs
edition.
down of the year.
Yeah.
No, I just couldn't do it anymore after that. Done.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't. Yeah. Fallout. All right. My number one. We're going back. Another Nintendo classic that I hate playing with you guys. I hate
Zelda?
playing it in general.
Smash Brothers.
Smash Brothers.
What version of Zelda?
Oh man.
No, I didn't put Zelda on a hate list. I'm not going to put Zelda on a hate list. I'm not going to put Mario on a hate list just because I'm
Okay.
tired of the games. They came from a place of joy at some point. They just are redundant. I don't dislike them in a real dislike way. But Smash Brothers I do really just dislike. It's just like not fun. I don't get it.
Okay.
It's just I'm not into those brawlers. Just not my thing.
That's
You like
fair.
just straight up fighting games, yeah.
Yeah, it's
not,
more of a
not
fighting
game.
platform
That's
fighter.
fair.
I don't need like this.
I really
Someone
enjoyed it on
really
the N64, but
Yeah.
you know, later ones I just didn't enjoy.
That's fair.
It's just such a
The
weird.
one on the Wii a lot. I haven't played the Switch one yet.
We played the Switch one at Scott's house.
Yeah, barely.
Well, yeah, but
barely.
enough, a couple rounds enough to know, like, I just don't want to play this.
It felt just like Smash.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah, which is what you don't like.
Yeah.
so you know, that's just me. So brawlers, those type of brawlers are just not my thing. But
Yeah, that's cool.
but
there's
I
a
don't
lot of them
understand
now.
why. I know I don't understand why people love them so much. But
There's tons of different brawlers
That's
at
weird.
this point.
Anyway.
Brand new ones.
that's it.
Yay!
All right,
Yay.
really quickly. Couch co-optionals. Let's
Yeah.
only do one each. Run around the table. Jarrod, are you watching, reading, eating, drinking?
I just finished reading the first book of the Earth-Sea Cycle from Ursula Le Guin. It's called... first one is called A Wizard of Earthsea. And it came out in like 1968. I've heard of the series, but I didn't realize it was that old. It's like a Portland author, you know. She's like a local, and she made the waves in fantasy. So I read through that. I really enjoyed it.
Cool.
Okay.
There you go.
Cool.
Nick, something cool you want to recommend?
This jump box right here, you can find it at Costco for $100. It's something you can take camping. It's an air compressor. It's got 4 USB ports. It's got
Does it have a light?
something you can plug shit into. Yeah, I know. Does it have a light? Oh, man.
Does it have a light? Oh yeah, it does. Okay.
Nice. Yeah, it's got everything.
Nice.
Nice.
Okay.
Yes, it's an air compressor. You can jumpstart your car with it. All
Sweet.
you have to do is charge it.
Cool. Awesome.
Nice.
Dave.
It's something that I bought when I went down to Florence.
Also
Nice.
a Swiss Army
today.
knife.
New. All right. His new toy.
Nice.
Dave, what you got?
I haven't got anything new, but I recommend everyone go back and listen to Pink Floyd
Okay.
Yeah, totally.
because we saw Roger Waters this weekend, and that was really good show.
And it just shows you how
And,
good that music from Pink Floyd is.
Yep. Yes.
And I think I'm going to listen to Pink Floyd after this episode, actually.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, Aaron, what you got?
All right. It's a couple of things, but this one's actually going to be a TV series. Ian mentioned it before in the Discord app, but everybody should watch it. I think She-Hulk on Disney Plus.
Yeah, She-Hulk's
That's
awesome.
great.
Well, I heard the first episode is good, but then I was like, hear people complain because it's
So stupid.
whatever about but then I'm watching, I'm like, fuck those guys, this is great. I enjoy it. Go watch that Disney Plus She-Hulk. Go for it. It's
Cool.
amazing.
How many
Awesome.
episodes are available right now?
Like
I
four?
wanna
Four?
watch it,
I
but-
think
Yeah,
four
four.
now. Yeah.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, every Thursday, the new episode comes out.
All right.
I just started that one.
I'm going to say Okay, so last weekend I went with Jarrod and Nick on a record. Well, we went for beer, and then I also dragged them along to the record store. And then I've always been a fan of Golden Earring, but I've never actually listened to a full album all the way through. So I bought Golden Earring Moontan for $4.99 and listened to that all the way through. I've listened to it a million times at this point. That album is fucking brilliant. From 1973, Golden Earring, Moontan. I highly recommend people listen to that because
I listened to it a couple times today.
It doesn't even. It's just. I think it's a really good rock and roll album. It's really good. Anyway. Okay. Let's see.
So good. There's a remastered version of it. But anyway.
I'm sure there is. Dave, what beer did you pick for next week?
Oh, I picked a little IPA that most of us know. Maybe it's not available outside, but Boneyard's RPM. We all really enjoyed Hop Venom, which is the double IPA. This is the kind of classic West Coast IPA, and Ian's drinking it right now.
All right. So if you want to drink along next week, that's the beer. All right, boys.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining me, and I want to thank everyone for listening. And remind you that you can leave feedback on Twitter, Instaface, Twitbook, Instaface, and Gramter. Sorry, at Couch Co-op Shows, all one word.
No hyphen.
Remember to please subscribe, share, and maybe leave us an iTunes review. Also, go to anchor.fm/The Couch Co-op Show, and you can leave us a voice message right there on the website. You can do it from your phone or a PC, as long as you have a mic on your PC. That's super cool. We'll play them on the show. So, hey, fucking let us know what we're doing wrong or what we did right or whatever. I want to thank the guys for, of course, joining me here on the couch for Couch Co-op.
Yeah.
Please be excellent to each other.
Yeah, excellent to you guys.
Well, yes.
All right, guys. I'll talk to you later.
Later.
Bye.
Iron.
Bye.
Yeah.
Couch Co-op. Dude, Ian, you should check out the Wikipedia page for that Moontan album. It's got a different track listing with different tracks for the European version.
Yeah, there's an extended edition I saw on Google Music.
Well, it's like 2 of the tracks aren't even on the US version. It's kind of interesting. Couch Co-op. If you like that album, it'd be kind of cool. And I think the